Hey everyone, my name's Andy Baker. I'll be your lecturer this semester for the cartography class. Unfortunately, I can't make it in today. I was planning on it to do an introduction, meet you all, and talk about the syllabus. But unfortunately, I tested positive for COVID last week. I'm all good. My family's all good. We survived it. Now we just can't taste or smell anything. It's the weirdest thing in the world to not be able to do those things. But just to kind of put a face to the name, it's me. And so you'll see me maybe, as I'll explain, this is a hybrid course in which, if you so choose, you can complete it remotely. But this will be something in which I think you're going to see more courses doing this, in which you kind of have this hybrid element, which you'll have an on campus, but also off campus or online environment. But good to meet you. Hope to see you around. If not, feel free to always send me a message, BAKERAN at iupy.edu or Canvas inbox. This is just a simple narration of the syllabus as you see in Canvas. Note that the graduate student section, the G537, everything's similar except for the addition of a 100-point final course project. So that's at the end of this syllabus. So everything's the same for those of you in G537. What you'll find over here on the left-hand side is modules. So go ahead and open up the modules, and that's how you're going to find the course content. As you'll see here, the introduction is available to you. That online lecture 1.1 will be available on Thursday, then Tuesday, Thursday. So all of this will come alive, essentially, as we go. As the semester goes, will become available to you. And so all these links you'll see when they become unlocked. And so as the semester goes, I would let you work ahead, but the problem is I've never taught this course. I've never designed the exercises. I've never designed the modules. I've never designed the online lectures until this semester. So I won't have them ready for you. You'll find the assignments available also in the modules. And you also find them over here in assignments, discussions. Those simple discussions are going to be available there. And so same idea applies as the semester goes, things will become available to you, and then you can access them, complete them, and then complete the work. Go back to the syllabus here. I explained the course format. Once again, this is a hybrid format in which, if you so choose, you can complete it asynchronously online, meaning that you never have to be at a particular point, at a particular place in this semester in this course. You can complete all the coursework online. Course description, kind of the standard operational procedure stuff for every syllabus in terms of objectives, topics. Here, the recommended textbook, it's not required. I don't require any books, but if I do, then I recommend someone that are kind of like the classics. Here's one in which you can find online, probably like for 20, 30 bucks, since it's dated, but really the art of map making isn't dated. We've been doing it for a few thousand years or so. Continuing on, the software, you'll see this is important. I explain this in the introduction and modules. It's kind of how you can access the software. I also explain at the end of this particular video. Then you have the assessments of learning. We have exercises, and the exercises are based on online lectures. And so exercise 1 is based off of online lecture 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. Exercise 2 is based on online lecture 2. Exercise 8 is based on online lecture 8, and so forth. You can see as far as their dates in which they become available are on a Thursday, and then they become available not the following Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that. So about 12 to 13-ish days, and it's due at 11:59 p.m. on a Tuesday evening. The discussions, those will be kind of available whenever, but you'll see that these are due on a Sunday evening at 11:59 p.m. These are very simple, in which you don't really have to go do a lot of research. It just kind of, I'm asking you to share your thoughts with your peers, to interact with each other a bit in the online environment. Quick, easy, simple points. Next up are the exams, exam 1 and exam 2. They're kind of like a midterm and final, but I prefer to use the terms exam 1 and exam 2. Once again, for the graduate students, you have to do exam 1 and exam 2. For the undergraduate students, you have to do exam 1, but for exam 2, I do give you the option of doing a final project. And so that's something in which we have a conversation about what your final project is going to look like. But if you want to do that instead of the 100-point exam 2, then you can do a final project instead. So here's the syllabus in terms of the Canvas, in terms of how things are laid out. If you have any questions, akeran@iupy.edu or Canvas inbox. This course is set up as a hybrid course. There's a few different reasons for that. First off, the Dean of the School of Liberal Arts had a conversation with chairs and directors recently, and they said they are encouraging more hybrid courses because they see students are more interested in that type of opportunity in which they can see and meet faculty or their instructor, but at the same time, they can learn a lot of the concepts, the basics, in an online or a remote environment. And if even further, when I took this course in the late 1990s, it was a hybrid format in which we would have one day a week we'd have the lecture, and then the other day of the week we would have essentially an open lab where we could come in and draw our maps. Of course, that was a different era where we weren't doing digital cartography. But nonetheless, this whole idea of a lecture one day and a lab the next day, it's not a new idea. But that's what we're going to do here in cartography. Here's the schedule. We can see, I'll zoom in here. You'll see it much easier. But the ID here is on the left are all the Tuesdays, and on the right are all the Thursdays. And so the idea there is the green and purple are kind of a code. Green means I'm there. Purple means I'm not there. So I'll explain this as we go, and we'll get to the middle point. That yellow is spring break. I'll also discuss the assessments of learning and kind of when they're due and how they'll work. So let's go ahead and look at the very first day. And so I was hoping to be there today to talk about these various things, but instead I'll obviously be doing that in the online environment. On Thursday, this might be a live lecture. You don't have to attend. It might be pre-recorded. I don't know what I'll do. I've never taught this course before. And so what we'll do is we'll have an online lecture 1.1 in which the topic will be thematic cartography. Next time, since I wasn't here today on the first Tuesday, and it says, I won't be here, I'll actually go ahead and come on in. So if you want to meet me, if you want to discuss the things that we would have discussed in January 11th, assuming I'm negative, no longer have COVID, then we can have obviously a socially distant conversation amongst us. But at the same time, on Tuesday, an online lecture will be made available. That will never happen again, in which you'll have an online lecture become available on a Tuesday. Then we go to January 20th, and we have another online lecture. You'll see this is the only time this semester you'll have this whole back-to-back-to-back online lectures. And the whole idea here is we're introducing concepts and kind of laying the groundwork for what will happen later on. On Thursday, January 20th, what will happen is exercise 1 will become available to you. I mention this because it's important that the exercises, the number of them, exercise 1, relates to online lecture 1. And of course, I have 3 different online lecture 1s. That's why I call them 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. As you'll see here, as the semester goes, an online lecture will become available. Let's say online lecture 4. And then at the same time, exercise 4 will become available. Exercise 4 will be based on online lecture 4. See how that makes sense? Here we have discussion 1, which is available and due, it's due January 23rd on a Sunday. The discussions are going to be kind of things in which you comment online in a discussion forum, and they're good ways in which we can have a continued dialogue amongst us, but also a good way to earn points. Here, you'll see this pattern start to develop in which exercise 1 becomes available on a Thursday. So an exercise will become available on a Thursday. Then you'll note that I'm available, but you'll see nothing here. So essentially, you can come in and start working on your exercise 1, and you can have that one-to-one help. Or if you have a question about the online lectures, about something that was discussed, you can have one-to-one help, because my guess is not every student will be there on January 25th. And so there's no online lectures on that date, but I will be there from 1:30 to 2:45 in our lab location there to help you. Let's go ahead and keep this semester going here. And so we'll see exercise 1 is due. So you'll have essentially about 12 days to do it. So it's available on a Thursday. You'll have a Tuesday to work on it with me. Then you'll have another Tuesday to work on it because it's not due until 11:59 p.m. on a Tuesday. That's designed for a reason, which allows you to have that one-to-one help on campus or online. I'm available online as well, in which you can get the feedback that you need as you're working on the exercises. Once again, exercise 1, what's it based off of? It's based off of the online lecture 1 series. Further, we'll go ahead, online lecture 2, you'll see exercise 2 then also becomes available, and it's due February 8th. So on February 1st, because you have the exercise 1 is due that date, you can work on exercise 1, and I'll be there to help you. You could also work on exercise 2 if you're going to work ahead. So these are opportunities for you, once again, to get that individualized instruction that some of you desire. And so you'll see as the semester goes, this pattern continues. Online lecture becomes available on a Thursday, so is the exercise related to that online lecture, and then we go throughout the semester, eventually getting to the spring break. You'll see no online lectures because we start to slow down because we have something important that comes up. All right, so exercise 5, exercise 6, you'll notice the discussions are kind of scattered throughout the semester. And so discussions, once again, quick, easy, simple points, just add to the discussion, add some deep thoughts. That's all I'm looking for. We have our spring break, of course, that separates the semester into 2 halves. When you come back from spring break on Monday or on Tuesday, March 22nd, exam 1 will be available to you. You complete it online. You'll have a few days to complete it. Exam 1, I haven't designed it yet, but you will know ahead of time what it's going to look like. What am I kind of thinking about as far as how I'm going to exam you on the content, on the online lectures and the textbook readings if you have the textbook. Because once again, the textbook is recommended but not required. And so you'll see the semester continues to go on for the online lectures and the exercises. Graduate students, this is for the few of you who are graduate students. I don't want to make 2 videos. Graduate students, this is where you can design a project for the greater good, for maybe an organization, for a business, for a school, or even better for yourself. If this is something in which you can use for your dissertation, your thesis, your work, your field work, whatever, great opportunity. Let's do it. Because essentially what you can do is you can get feedback from your peers, your instructor, and all of that. So that's when we just have a proposal due. Just let me know what you're doing, and hopefully you have plenty of time with the online environment or on campus to discuss with me some ideas that you might have. Continuing right along to the second half of the semester, the pattern continues, just like we saw beforehand, in which we have online lecture 9 about web mapping. Exercise 9 will be about web mapping, and it'll be due not the next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. And you have plenty of time to seek help from your instructor. Finally, let's get down to the bottom. On May 3rd, exam 2 will become available to you. Now, graduate students, you have to do exam 2. You have to do it as, it's very similar to the exam 1, in which you'll do it online. You'll have a few days to do it and all of that. For undergrad students, you have the option of, instead of doing the 100-point exam 2, you can do a final project. And so that's kind of similar to that graduate student project I mentioned before, in which you kind of do something for the greater good. Obviously, you're not going to do a thesis or a dissertation, but that's something, if you want to do a project, I have some maybe in the can, in which some projects that you can use, or something I have in mind that is worthy of being a final project, or maybe you have an idea of something. Maybe you came across a particular map this semester in which I want to do that to my hometown. Then that's your opportunity to do that here. As always, once again, email me if you have any questions regarding the schedule, this hybrid layout. Email me at bakeran@iupy.edu, or send me a message via Canvas inbox. In this video, I'm going to tour the different ways in which you can access the ArcGIS software. So the first one is via IUware. This is where actually, I believe, you can download this onto your own computer. So go to Analysis and Modeling, then the ArcGIS Desktop 10.8 Student. Click on that, and then here, Login for Access. That should be your normal deal where you log in and do your whole user ID and your super duper password. So that, I think, is something that you can do. And once again, I can't do this because I'm not a student. So if this isn't the case, then let me know. But I believe you can download and have on your laptop ArcGIS Desktop 10.8 and don't have to worry about doing the other methods here. Secondly, another opportunity for you to access ArcGIS software is via the IU Anywhere. So IU Anywhere, and so just go ahead and we'll log in there. I'll kind of show you around and show you how to use this. All right, and so I did my old rigmarole where I put in my password and all of that like we always do. And so the first thing you can do is click on Detect Receiver, and you'll get some options, and okay, always, yeah. The first time, just because I'm showing you a demonstration, I'm not going to check it, but you might want to check this every time. So go ahead and open link, I agree, and then download. And so then you'll get the save file, continue, open link, and finally, you'll get to the IU Anywhere page, and it should have your name here. Now, yours might not have a favorite because you haven't created one yet. All right, and so what we're going to do for this particular course is go to desktops, and you'll have different options in this one here, VPC, STC. So this is the first week. It takes a while for them to add your name or to add you to the roster, so to speak. So you'll have this added sometime during the first week of the semester. If it's the second week of the semester and you do not have this and you want to use IU Anywhere, then let me know. We'll get you added. So this is going to take a little bit of time, but this here is going to take you to a virtual PC. This allows you to do ArcGIS if you're on a Mac, but it also allows you to do ArcGIS if you're not on campus, so a remote option as well. And so I'll go ahead and click on that. And here we are, we have our virtual PC. So this is essentially being in the cloud or the Citrix environment. So then what we have is a desktop that's not really your desktop per se on your computer, but it's a desktop in the sky. Yeah, okay. All right, so what we're going to do is here, just simply find what we need. And so if you go over to the bottom left, hit the Start button, over here, Analysis and Modeling, and you'll find all of our various ARC products. And I'll go ahead and I'll start by going to ArcGIS Pro. So go ahead and click on that. And one of the things is if you walk up to the campus lab, our on-campus lab in Kavanaugh Hall where we meet there in 008C, essentially you're going to come across the same thing in which you fire up your computer, your desktop there in the lab, and then you go down to the bottom left and you find ArcGIS, or you can also search for it in the Analysis and Modeling. All right, what we have here is we have the start page for ArcGIS Pro, and so this is one of the things we're going to see later on. When we start doing exercises, this is where we're going to start our exercises. So I just want to show you how to get to that. All right, it's important to keep in mind that when we're working with the VPC that we also have connection to our desktop. And what I mean by that is, let's say I want to find a folder that's on my desktop, on my actual laptop. So this is where it can be confusing because I'm using two desktops, so to speak. So let's go over here and I'll go to the File Explorer. It's anywhere. We'll just do anything, anywhere where I can get a file. I want to find files. All right. Okay, so I see over here, this PC. You're going to have this come up. What that means is you want this read and write access. What that means is you want connection to your actual desktop. So what will happen is possibly during the semester, you'll download some files onto your laptop, onto your actual device. But you'll want to use those in the virtual PC world. And so that's how you then connect your personal desktop to your virtual desktop, is by checking this read and write access. What that's going to do is it's then going to allow me then to go and find a top secret folder. And so I'm going to go here, users, and then you're going to find your name, probably the name of your computer, then the desktop, and there's the top secret cartography file that I was looking for that's on my desktop, in which I'm now accessing it in my virtual desktop and virtual PC. So something in which I just want to kind of showcase how we can kind of connect to files in these two different desktops. Up here at the top, to help out, you can kind of go back and forth. And so if I want to go back to my desktop, click Window, and you'll see that here is the VPC, and then back here is our browser. All right, finally, the last thing I'm going to show is how to access ArcGIS online. And so that, just go to the arcgis.com page, do sign in here. What you're going to do is you're going to go down to ArcGIS organization's URL, and all you have to do is write IU, then click Continue, Indiana University, and then you'll do that whole thing where you put in your password, all of that. And now this will get you to the ArcGIS Online, in which it's another environment in which you can create cartography, you can create maps. So hopefully these different ways are showcasing how to access ArcGIS. In this course, we can use all of these or some of them to achieve our objectives on the exercises, projects, and what have you.